what's the difference between prospecting and retargeting when it comes to your paid media ads? Stick around, because that's what we're going to discuss in this episode of T.E.A Talks. Let's get into it. Right, Darren, here we are. We're in the car once more.
In the car, on the road.
On the road again.
Oh.
And you posted an interesting question.
Yeah.
You said, prospect and retargeting.
Yeah.
What's the difference? And I said, I know, I'll tell you the answer, but flip that camera on.
Yeah.
Get the camera going.
We never talk without the camera on.
Sometimes we do leave the camera on and it catches us just rambling on.
It's just too much golden nuggets.
Aren't they just? Yeah, well, quite. So, right, let me give you a very quick whistle stop then of prospecting and retargeting, and feel free to chip in with any questions that you think our dear viewers may have.
There you go.
Right, prospecting.
Yes.
Essentially, cold audience. So that is you going out and trying to get your product, your service, your message, your wares in front of your target customer. And for the most part, they don't know who you are.
Sure.
That's the big thing with prospecting.
Yeah.
And it's, very different ways you can approach it depending on whether you're talking paid search, so your Google, your Bing, your YouTube, versus paid social, which is more your Pinterest and your Meta and stuff like that.
So it's because I think initially there might be people out there, myself maybe one of them included, who when thinking of prospecting or retargeting would initially just think Meta. But it's not just Meta.
No, absolutely not. I mean, that's interesting. So that is genuinely interesting, because when I think prospecting, I would think Google, because you are actively searching. For me, when I think prospecting, I'm thinking I'm searching, I'm looking. Someone's looking for something.
Sure.
Right? Not necessarily actually, but the idea of prospecting is you're saying that I've got a product, a service, I want to get it in front of my target customer. I know who that target customer is, or I've got a good sense of who they are. You can target them depending on platform. You've got different options. You can say, right, this is who I want to get in front of. And then you can you can then just use these platforms to get your message, your ad or whatever in front of those target folks. So there you go. So prospect, very effective. But the premise of it is it's basically a cold audience.
Look for new customers.
Yeah, it's new customers. It's new customers. It's a cold audience. It's people that don't know you. And it's, for the most part, it's where. And the crucial thing is really when you're thinking about the difference between them, is to know that most of your budget, unless you are a big brand, most of your budget will go into prospecting, because you are looking for new customers. So most of our clients will have an 80-20, a 90-10 split, something like that, where most of what they're doing is going out prospecting, looking for new business.
So, quick question.
Yes.
So, I know a lot about retargeting because I have a lot to do with whenever our clients use retargeting on Meta. Can you retarget on Google?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Meta, well, firstly, a lot of what the retargeting we're doing, the retargeting in simple terms is it's you going out to a warm audience. These folks know you. They've engaged with you. Maybe they've bought from you before.
Existing customers.
It's existing customers.
People who are nearly.
Yeah, they might have signed up. They might have shown them interest. They might have been on your website and you've captured them and you're showing them an ad because you've pixeled them, or they've signed up for something on your website and you've got their customer data. So now you're retargeting that way. They might have been captured via. You've got GA4 audiences set up. So lots of ways in which you can capture that data, and then you're showing ads. And it potentially a different type of message, but only to the people that have, the way I describe it is raised their hand. They've shown an interest, they've expressed an interest, they know you. So when they see an ad, they go, there's that brand, there's that product or that service I was considering buying or engaging with. And so, yes, you can do it on Meta. And of course, yes, you can do it on Google. There's lots of ways you can do it. For those brands that are doing Performance Max, retargeting is bundled into a Performance Max campaign. Because it focuses on both prospecting and retargeting. You can also do standalone retargeting, and your ability to retarget comes down to audiences. So how you set up your audiences and what data you're leveraging to keep your brand top of mind. And so for us, a lot of our products and services that we're marketing, a big part of what we have to do is keep our brands top of mind with their target customers, because a lot of people are not buying those products and services the first time they visit the website, the first time they engage with an ad. Okay. So a big part of what we have to do is remain top of mind for those people. But the good thing is, for a lot of our business, our smaller businesses, a lot of them are geographically tied. So you're only showing ads from a retargeting perspective to people that have engaged with your business.
I see.
Right? So you're not going out to the masses.
Yes.
And that's the big deal, which is why you can run retargeting often for really pennies. You know, you don't have to spend. We've got clients that will spend £10,000-20,000 a month on their ads, and they'll spend £1,000 on retargeting, and that's more than enough because they're only staying top of mind. The other big thing, the big difference, you asked what the differences are. The big difference, obviously there's the audience side, one's cold, one's warm. Yeah. But the big thing that you can do, and that we do a lot of, is in the messaging. Because if you think about one audience is cold, one audience is warm, what you can then do is you can serve very different messaging. Because, for example, if you think about it use common sense, if it's a cold audience and they've no idea who you are, and you say, well, I've got a great product or a great service, you can say you need to say certain things in that first ad or that first interaction with that potential customer. This is who we are. This is what we do, what we sell. This is our product. This is why we're special, etc., etc. Okay. Whereas, if they know you, maybe they've a previous customer, maybe they've engaged with your brand, maybe they've bought from you before, then you can potentially serve them very different ads with different messaging, different calls to action, because you haven't got to do the know, like and trust bit. They already know you. You haven't got to say this is who we are, because they already know who you are. So instead, you can maybe go, here's a special offer, or here's something to encourage you to return and buy again, or here's some of the things that I know you've done recently is we'll focus in on different key messages where we're going to focus in on the reviews of the product or the service, or the testimonials, or the stuff like that, where we're focusing in on it's reinforcing the reason why you should buy from this company. You know of this company, you've been on their website, you're considering the product, we know you are because you've been on the website, you've signed up, etc. Now we're just going to reinforce the reasons of why you should seriously consider buy, why you should come back, why you should pick up the phone.
Before we go any further, if you're enjoying today's T.E.A Talk, you'll love our Grow with Evergreen podcast. Specifically created for home, garden and lifestyle brands, it's a podcast dedicated to discussing paid media and marketing. Every episode, we're joined by a brand that wants to grow online. We delve into their business, dissect what they're doing, and define a digital growth strategy they can take and deploy into their business. And best of all, you get to listen or watch along, then take those learnings into your own business. Make sure you check it out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But for now, let's get back to today's T.E.A Talk.
So, question.
Yes.
Which one's better?
Oh, that's like asking which of your children's better.
Well, who's your favourite child?
I have one, so it's an easy decision. But I don't really think there's one that I can't. There isn't one that's better.
Yeah.
It really depends. Yeah, exactly.
I just asked that to be devil's advocate.
I don't think there's one that's better. I think all brands, the lifeblood of any business, all of our clients is in new business.
Sure.
But with the cost, we were talking about earlier this morning. With the cost of acquisition only getting more expensive, it's becoming more expensive to buy a customer for the most part. So retention and staying top of mind with your target customer and re-engaging that customer, that potential customer, and building know, like and trust with that customer over a period of time is a very, very important thing to do. And if I think about the guests we've had on the podcast, so many of them, they know they need to be doing prospecting, and they're going out because they say, well, we need new customers. That's obvious. That's absolutely obvious. And a lot of them are either not doing retargeting or think they're doing it, but doing a very poor job. And a lot of the easiest ways to increase their revenue is by doubling down on retargeting. And we've seen that, and within 3 months, we're able to often see a noticeable impact on our clients' P&L and their revenues and their profitability, because essentially we just go, well, we're going to leverage and get your brand in front, keep your brand in front of your target customer much more prominently than you've been doing before. And so for that reason, I think retargeting is incredibly powerful and often underutilized by small businesses, but I think it comes from a place of they just don't know what they don't know.
Would you say that to have great retargeting, you have to have great prospecting? Does one come from the other, or can you?
That is actually a really, really good question, because
I do try.
it is a really, no, fair play, because that is actually, because, and I'll tell you why it's such a good question, probably even better than you maybe even realise that you've asked, because a lot of the time, businesses are, they'll be good doing ads, and they'll be visible through their SEO and through their content, and they're driving a lot of visibility to their website, right? And then what they do is they set up retargeting, and this is a common mistake they make. They'll set up retargeting, they'll be running retargeting ads to all of their customers. Now, and that's fine if in some scenarios, but we've seen it where they'll have a blog, and they'll have a blog with masses of content that's been done by their SEO and their content team, their in-house team, and they'll have a blog that's bringing in thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of visitors. They'll set up a retargeting tag, they'll set up the pixel, and they'll then they'll basically build up a bucket of all of those people.
Okay.
Now, and then they'll start retargeting to all of these people, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, if your blog is to do with, how-to content, and it's often businesses' blogs is not, there's no commercial intent to the content.
No. Just
so you end up with a big audience where they have visited your website, yes, but only because they've been looking for, they Googled, they needed to find an answer to a question, or they had a problem or whatever.
Sure.
You've given them that answer. So then in no way are they interested in buying your product or your service, but you are retargeting them. And so in those scenarios, that's where you can then waste money on retargeting, and retargeting doesn't work. And we've had that before. It's like, oh, I've tried retargeting, it doesn't work. And we go, well, why? Because logic would dictate that absolutely will work. We look at their data and we realise it's because they're capturing all of their traffic and they're retargeting to all. So I try and give you so if you run a business and you've got a blog, and on your blog, let's say you're a plumber, right? To use an idea, in fact, we actually use one of our clients.
Okay.
So one of our clients sells, we talk about it a lot, but we've got a couple of clients that sell hot tubs.
Yes.
Right, that's a really relatable product. It's a very relatable product. So if you're selling hot tubs, if you've got a blog, and on your blog you've got lots of content to do with maybe fixing a hot tub, maintaining a hot tub, or chemicals for your hot tub, all of that, right? And that's all good content. Yeah. But do you want to be retargeting those people with your view of, well, they might buy a hot tub? Absolutely not. No. But if you don't know what you're doing with retargeting, and you don't set up well, you end up retargeting, and then you look at your data, you go, well, retargeting doesn't work. Right. But it's because most of the people you're retargeting to were never on your website because they were looking to buy a hot tub. So the way you get around that is you then set up retargeting based on certain page visits or certain interactions that they make on your website. Sure. And so that is how retargeting can be incredibly powerful, but also how it goes wrong. And we've seen that so many times. They go, well, we're doing retargeting, but it doesn't work. But that's why. So you do need the quality. Your retargeting, to a large degree, will win or fail based on how you set it up, which in turn is what you asked about the prospecting to bring the right types of traffic in. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, there you go. It's a bit of a difference. So I think, most of our brands are, the vast majority of their budget's going into prospecting, because that's new clients. But then I think really it's smart retargeting that is logical, where you think, yes, if someone is on my service, my product page, my category page, if they're going on our about page, if they're considering buying from us, we absolutely want to be capturing that person to then stay top of mind with them, to ultimately get them to reach out, pick up the phone, get in touch, fill in a form, etc. Very nice. Yeah, there's the mix. So the difference, yeah? Oh, yeah, and hopefully so do the viewers at home. Well, that's the aim of T.E.A Talks. Or in their cars listening to this on the podcast. Oh, there's a shout out. Shall we do a little bit of prospecting and retargeting ourselves? I think we should. There we go, absolutely. How very topical. Yes, of course. Because, I've done enough talking. You tell everyone now. For anyone who's watching this, if you're thinking, I'd like to be in the car with you guys, but I can't watch and drive, that would be very risk your life. Irresponsible. Well, quite. So fortunately, we have the answer. T.E.A Talks is now available on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Yes, it is. So you can listen to these bite-sized little golden nuggets wherever you go. Yeah, so there you go. You can now officially have us in your ears for 15-20 minutes via Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Aren't you lucky? Yes. Right, I think we better leave it there because we're almost at our destination. We are. It's been good fun. There you go. Thanks so much. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.